Every single day for the last 11 days, 21 million barrels of oil have failed to pass through a narrow choke point between Iran and Oman. That is 1 in every 5 barrels the world produces. And as of this morning, March 23rd, 2026, there is no diplomatic process, no ceasefire negotiation, and no credible timeline for reopening the Strait of Hormuz. This is the most significant disruption to global energy supply since the 1973 Arab oil embargo, and it is happening right now. Let me explain why this week changed everything. On March 12th, following a series of escalating strikes between Israel, the United States, and Iran that had been building since late February, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy deployed fast attack boats, anti-ship cruise missiles, and naval mines across the narrowest section of the Strait of Hormuz. That section is only 21 nautical miles wide, and the shipping lanes that supertankers actually use are barely 2 miles across in each direction. Iran didn't need an aircraft carrier. It didn't need a blue water navy. It needed mines, missiles, and proximity, and it has all three. Here are the numbers you need to understand. Before the closure, roughly 21 million barrels of oil transited the Strait of Hormuz every day. That represents approximately 20% of global oil consumption. Brent crude, which sat at around $82 a barrel in late February, closed on Friday, March 20th at $115. That is a 40% surge in 3 weeks. The S&P 500 dropped 1.5% on Thursday alone. The Nasdaq fell 1.8%. The Dow shed 444 points in a single session. And on March 17th, Iraq, whose southern export terminal at Basra depends entirely on tanker access through the strait, declared force majeure on all its oil fields. That pulled another 3.3 million barrels per day off the global market on top of Iran's own 1.8 million barrels of daily exports that have obviously ceased. Now here is what most coverage is missing. Everyone is focused on the oil price. And yes, $115 oil is painful. But the real crisis is not the price per barrel. It is the insurance market. Lloyd's of London and the major maritime war risk insurers have designated the entire Persian Gulf a listed area. War risk premiums for any vessel attempting transit have jumped from roughly 0.05% of hull value to over 3%. For a supertanker worth $100 million, that means the insurance cost alone went from $50,000 to $3 million per voyage. Even if Iran opened the strait tomorrow morning, most commercial shipping companies would not send vessels through until those premiums came back down. That process took 4 months after the Houthi Red Sea disruptions in 2024. This is worse. The physical closure creates a bottleneck that outlasts the closure itself. And then there is the nuclear dimension that makes this genuinely dangerous in a way the Red Sea crisis never was. The United States has publicly stated through National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan's successor that strikes on Iranian nuclear infrastructure at Fordo and Natanz remain, quote, actively on the table. Iran's facility at Fordo is buried under a mountain near the city of Qom, roughly 270 feet beneath solid rock. The United States has the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, a 30,000-pound bunker buster, but military analysts at the Center for Strategic and International Studies have repeatedly questioned whether even that weapon can reach Fordo's centrifuge halls. So Washington faces an impossible calculus: strike and potentially fail, proving to Iran and the world that its nuclear program is untouchable. Or don't strike and watch oil prices climb toward $150, while the IRGC tightens its grip on the most important waterway on Earth. Now here is the angle almost nobody is discussing. The country that benefits most from this crisis is not Iran. It is Russia. Every $10 increase in the price of oil adds roughly $40 billion a year to Russia's export revenue. At $115 a barrel, Moscow is generating the kind of income it has not seen since before the 2022 sanctions regime. And Russia has every incentive to quietly ensure this crisis continues. Russian diplomatic channels with Tehran have been active since at least 2023, and Moscow has been supplying Iran with advanced Yak-130 trainer aircraft and radar components that directly enhance Iran's ability to enforce this closure. The Strait of Hormuz crisis is not just a U.S.-Iran war story. It is a redistribution of global power in real time, and the longer it lasts, the more the existing order fractures. We are watching the most consequential energy crisis of the 21st century unfold in a waterway most people could not find on a map, and it is far from over. If this surprised you, hit like and subscribe. We cover what mainstream media ignores.